The story is about Hallam. On the outside, he looks like a grown man, but inside, he's still a lost little boy. After his mom died, Hallam spends most of his time in a small, broken shed behind the house. That's like his second home. It's just him, his diary, and the things he collected that remind him of his mom. Every day, he writes his feelings in the diary. Sometimes he goes to the lake where he and his mom used to spend time together. Hallam has not moved on from his mom's death, and he doesn't even try to hide it. Because of all this, he's becoming strange, awkward, childish, and different from everyone else. One day, Hallam sees two teenagers kissing near his treehouse. He sneaks up on them, acting like some kind of weird animal show host. The teens get scared and run away. The girl even threatens to call her big brother on him. Meanwhile, Hallam's dad, Julius, quickly married a woman named Verity right after Hallam's mom died. This makes Hallam miss his mom even more. The only person who really cares about him is his sister, Lucy. So Hallam spends most of his time hiding away in the treehouse he and Lucy built together. At dinner, the family gathers for an anniversary and also for Lucy's farewell party. She's leaving for Australia to escape the family mess. During the meal, Hallam asks Verity how she met his dad. She replies, "I was his secretary." Hallam immediately suspects his dad had been cheating on his mom. In Hallam's mind, nobody can replace her. Another strange habit of Hallam's is spying on neighbors. He watches mom's breastfeeding and even keeps an eye on his dad and Verity. Clearly, Hallam doesn't respect people's boundaries. With Lucy leaving, Hallam loses the only person who supported him. That night, he stays in the treehouse staring at his mom's photo, wishing for a miracle. The next morning, Lucy leaves for Australia. Hallam hides on the roof of the house, too stubborn to say goodbye. Lucy looks for him, but time runs out and she has to leave. Later, during lunch, Julius and Verity tell Hallam that it's time for him to move out and live independently. Hallam refuses. He goes to the lake and looks at his mom's old boat. He notices a strange hole in it and starts to think her death might not have been an accident. When Hallam tries to talk to his dad about it, he overhears Verity saying that Hallam is a burden, childish, and ruining their lives. Hallam then decides Verity must be the villain. He confronts his dad in the woods, trying to explain his theory of sabotage, but his dad just tells him to grow up. That night, Hallam searches through family papers, trying to find proof of something, but he finds nothing. Later, he goes back to his treehouse, only to find strangers hanging around. Instead of confronting them, Hallam hides in the bushes until they leave. When Hallam goes back inside, he finds the whole place destroyed. His mom's photo is even ruined. It turns out this was revenge from the older brother of the girl Hallam fought earlier. Luckily, his diary and his mom's special things are still safe. The next morning, Hallam tries to hide his box of memories in the closet. But when Lucy calls, he rushes to answer and forgets the key. Of course, Verity finds it. She opens the box, reads his diary, and discovers all of Hallam's secrets, including his confusing feelings for her. She even makes copies of the strangest parts to use later. After talking to Lucy, Hallam goes back to the lake to check his mom's boat. He studies the leak, then makes another hole with a hammer to compare. In his mind, this proves someone damaged the boat on purpose. Later, Verity comes to the treehouse. She asks politely to come up, but Hallam refuses. Still, she climbs up anyway. Once inside, she starts reading the copied pages of his diary out loud, exposing all of Hallam's hidden feelings for her. Verity now knows everything. She tries to convince Hallam to let go of his mom's death, but Hallam loses control and even accuses her of murder. Verity laughs at him, which drives him crazy. He tries to strangle her in anger. Suddenly, Verity changes her approach. She decides to use Hallam's feelings for her. Hallam, being vulnerable and confused, gives in. Verity herself gets carried away, and they end up sleeping together. Afterwards, Verity realizes what happened was dangerous. She tells Hallam he should leave for the city and start a new life. If he stays, things will only get worse, and it could ruin his relationship with his father. Lost and confused, Hallam listens and leaves with no plan at all. One night, a stranger offers him drugs, but he refuses. Soon after, police stop him, and in panic, he runs and hides in a small generator room. He wakes up the next morning surrounded by rats. That's when he sees a woman who looks almost exactly like his dead mom. He follows her to a hotel where he learns she works in HR. Hallam keeps staring until she notices and asks if he needs help. He says he needs a job. The woman, named Kat, gives him a card and tells him to apply. Feeling sorry for him, she even gives him a kitchen job right away. But Hallam doesn't stop there. He starts following Kat everywhere, on her dates, to her apartment, just like he used to spy on people back home. One day, when Kat isn't home, he even breaks into her apartment. Later, he finds a rooftop spot where he can watch her place directly. He discovers Kat is a widow. But when he nearly gets caught, he barely escapes through a window. Now Hallam has a new secret spying place with a perfect view into Kat's home. The next day, Hallam sneaks onto the hotel roof during his break, practicing his sneaky spying routine. But on his way down, he gets caught by John, the hotel director, who tells him that only office staff are allowed up there. Hallam pretends to listen, but keeps going back at night to spy on Kat, often sleeping on the hotel roof. One night, Hallam sees Kat getting close with another man. Curious and jealous, he rushes to her place and peeks through the window. That's when he realizes the man is John, Kat's married boss. It's a messy situation. Kat is secretly with John, while Hallam is secretly watching them. Heartbroken, Hallam tries to move on, but he can't. Instead, he does something strange. He files a police report accusing his stepmom of murder. After that, he returns to his usual hobby, spying on Kat from the hotel roof. Things get more complicated when John catches him and realizes Hallam knows about the affair. John threatens to report Hallam for spying, but Hallam flips it and threatens to expose John's relationship with Kat. Furious, John fires him on the spot. But Hallam doesn't give up. Before leaving, he sneaks into John's office, finds his home address, and shows up at his house pretending it's work-related. John realizes what Hallam is doing and decides not to fire him after all. Surprisingly, Hallam then starts working harder, and Kat notices his effort. Eventually, she promotes him to hotel porter. Still, Hallam can't stop spying on Kat. He sees John visiting her again and watches everything from outside her window. On his 18th birthday, Hallam is alone, reading an old letter from his mom and missing her deeply. Instead of celebrating, he feels empty and sad. At work, he looks lifeless until a coworker reminds him he's finally old enough to go to a club and celebrate. At first, Hallam isn't sure, but Kat insists they should go out. Kat, proud of his progress, takes him to a bar with another coworker to celebrate his birthday. The coworker gets too drunk and leaves early, leaving just Hallam and Kat. Over drinks, Hallam asks if she's dating John. Kat denies it, saying John is married. They keep drinking together, blurring the line between friendship and something more. Eventually, Kat invites Hallam back to her apartment. He hesitates, but she pulls him inside anyway. At the apartment, Hallam feels super awkward. This is all new for him. Kat, drunk, starts dancing around. Then she tries to get close, but Hallam blurts out, "Please don't touch me, I'm gay." Yeah, when you're that socially clueless, sometimes it's easier to pretend you're not even in the same game. Kat notices how inexperienced he is and asks if he's ever been with anyone. Hallam dodges the question. They end up just falling asleep next to each other. Awkward silence all around. The next morning at work, Hallam apologizes. Kat, all business, says, "Let's just keep it professional." Hallam agrees and goes back to work. Later, he's asked to deliver a suitcase to room 405. He goes in, nobody's there, until Kat shows up. She says she wants to talk about last night. She apologizes and tells him to just forget it. Then, surprise, they start making out and finally sleep together in the hotel room. It took 18 years, a dead mom, and a lifetime of awkward pauses, but Hallam finally loses his virginity to his boss in a hotel. If that's not a coming-of-age story, I don't know what is. But of course, happiness doesn't last. John finds out Kat's been sneaking someone into the hotel. Hallam, still on stalker duty, spies on them fighting and follows all the way to Kat's apartment. Things get rough. Hallam shows up, but it's a terrible idea. John exposes him on the spot, telling Kat that Hallam has been spying on her this whole time. That's it. Kat is disgusted. She tells Hallam to leave her alone. He gets fired and wanders the streets. Kat shuts all her windows, shutting him out completely. Later, Hallam tracks her down, desperate to explain. Kat lets him inside, but it's more of an interrogation than a reunion. She's shocked to hear Hallam also spied on his dad and stepmom. Finally, Hallam admits the truth. He was only obsessed with Kat because she looks just like his late mom. That's when it clicks. He's just a broken kid, not a monster. Kat softens and explains what adult life is really like. Messy, disappointing, and sometimes unbearable. She forgives him and lets him stay the night. Hallam shows her a photo of his mom, and the resemblance is uncanny. He even brings out his mom's old dress. Kat puts it on to comfort him. Overwhelmed, Hallam breaks down in tears. For the first time, he actually starts to heal. But again, peace doesn't last. Hallam's dad shows up at the hotel, cane in hand, wanting to sell his late wife's house. Variety has already told him everything about the treehouse incident. Hallam is furious, even plans to kidnap Variety and end things at the lake. But his conscience stops him at the last moment. Finally, his dad opens up. He misses his wife too, and Variety had nothing to do with her death. Hallam's wild theories were just fantasies. For once, he accepts the truth and begins to move on. He goes back to the city, hoping to build a real relationship with Kat. But reality hits. She's already moved on with someone else. She tells Hallam, "We're not meant to be. You're too young. Go live your life." So Hallam grows up a little. He accepts reality, even if it's painful. The lesson? If your life falls apart, maybe don't blame the universe or stalk random women. Sometimes the villain isn't the world, it's just you being weird. So yeah, maybe step out of the treehouse, take a shower, and act normal. Or not. It's your life. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.